Welcome everyone to the first webinar of JARVIS Open Call 1. It's a call for external pilots. We are very happy to have you here. We will be connecting for this 1.5 hours. And my name is, those of you that have just connected officially, I'm Eva Stefanik from F6S. I will be your moderator today, explaining you and having that pleasure to give you that first snapshot of this funding opportunity. So this is what we have prepared for you today. Right after I'm gonna stop, we will move on with the introduction to the JARVIS project, what it's about, what is our context, what we are interested to develop. Afterwards, I'm gonna give you in a nutshell some key characteristics of the Open Call 1. You will be able to assess whether this funding opportunities for you. Hopefully, yes. Once after that, my colleagues from LMS and SINTEF will be going into details with the challenges that we have put in this funding opportunity, the technology challenges that you will be able to address if you decide to apply, and we'll be unfolding this for you today. That's going to be a core part of this webinar. And nearly the end, I'm going to be showing you the steps of guidance, how you can really apply if you're going to find this call really suitable for you. And we also have saved some time for the live Q&A. We will not be taking questions during the presentation, but please, you are encouraged to already type and ask any questions using the Q&A chat. And as a speakers and also our colleagues from consortium, whenever they know already the answer, they are encouraged to answer you also in the chat. And we are planning to end this session 1:30 certain European time. So without further ado, let me introduce the speakers for today. So I have already introduced myself. In F6S, I am Innovation Funding Master, and again, I'm managing this open call in JARVIS project. Today with me is also the project coordinator of JARVIS, which is Christos Grisis from LMS, Electrical and Computer Engineer. We have also from LMS Research Engineer Zoe Arkouli. And last but not least, Axel Transet, Senior Scientist from SINTEF. So I would say we are ready to unfold for you what is actually JARVIS project. So Christos, you can go ahead, and I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you, Eva. Hello also from my side. I'll share my screen now. So, as Eva mentioned, I'm Christos Grisis. I'm part of the coordinating team here at LMS, and I will give you a brief introduction to the JARVIS project. So, JARVIS is an EU-funded program. It began at the start of 2024, and with 48 months of duration, it will end. It's planned to end by the end of 2027. 16 partners from 11 countries joined forces in order to deliver our vision. So, while several research activities have been conducted over the past years on the HRC topic, wider industrial adoption is lagging due to the following restrictions, according to our consortium. So it is limited cognition and intelligence. The proposed solutions can support coexistence, but not collaboration in the sense of robotic core worker. Low performance and of collaborative operations, which is the fact that the performance of collaboration is restricted by low robot speeds. The collaboration fluidity is rather low, as the operators have to adapt to the particularities of each robot, and the complexity in robot programming, which requires the involvement of skilled engineers and does not provide flexibility in the execution phase. Despite the fact that the mechatronics are quite advanced, perfect matching of mechanics and control is required to create robots that advance from repetitive and precision-oriented tasks to becoming intelligent and helpful. So, JARVIS aims to develop a reusable set of tools that enable AI-driven multimodal means of interaction by involving interfaces for physical and remote information exchange, robot control, and programming, providing social skills to a variety of robots to achieve seamless user-centric interaction, and demonstrating scalability of application and ability to achieve economies at scale. So the Jarvis technologies will be tested for flexibility, scalability, trustworthiness, and user acceptance in 4 use cases, aiming to demonstrate production line and cross-factor applicability. On the first pillar, the agile manufacturing pillar, we have 2 use cases, the aeronautics production use case and the automotive production use case. While on the second pillar, we have inspection and maintenance use cases on the energy sector, which are nuclear plants decommissioning and offshore energy production. Each pilot has been carefully selected to challenge and highlight the capabilities of the Jarvis solutions, covering a wide range of needs for human-robot interaction as they require to keep human in the loop. Diving into the Jarvis use cases, first we have the Collins use case, which is the part of the composite cell manufacturing. The use case concerns the layup and manufacturing of polymer matrix composites for aircraft interior cells. The Jarvis solution will utilize here human-robot interaction through augmented reality and smart sensor networks. Then we have the automotive use case, the TOFAS use case, which is part of the automotive industry and focuses on the hybrid vehicle batteries assembly. Here we focus on taking the repetitive tasks and the heavy load from the operator and enable them to focus on the high dexterity and more interesting tasks. Regarding the second pillar, which focuses in the inspection maintenance, we have 2 more use cases. The Equinor use case focuses on the inspection maintenance in offshore energy production, a large variety of tasks to be carried out there in harsh conditions, and we aim to handle them by teleoperation. The EDF use case is centered around nuclear waste decommissioning. There, Jarvis aims to introduce technologies that take the operator again away from hazardous environments and achieve safe dismantling operations. So, the consortium of Jarvis is fully aware of the main technological barriers as well as the required enablers for improving the human-robot interaction functionalities in the different industrial cases. The industrial requirements can be mapped to the following 6 Jarvis objectives. We start with the development of AI-enhanced means of interaction for seamless human-robot communication, control, and programming. And then we trying to add development of social interactive robots with human-centric approach, ensuring smooth human-robot interaction. In the meantime, we focus on security, privacy, safety towards trustworthy artificial intelligence, assuring personal data protection and aligning with the relative directives. Then we have the development of the cognitive and intelligent mechatronics, the main enablers for advanced HRI, dynamic scene modeling and understanding, application of fully integrated human-robot interaction in large-scale pilots, and last, boosting companies to adopt industrial human-robot interaction. So, by fostering the collaboration between humans and robots, Jarvis seeks to create a future where robots work as intuitive assistants, seamlessly adapting to human preferences and actions. Jarvis technologies aim to have a great impact on the social aspects of the industrial workplaces while maximizing production efficiency. This can be achieved by shifting the role of robots from just tools to capable collaborators, which serve as an always learning entity on the shop floor alongside the operator. By focusing on the human centricity, Jarvis is setting the basis for robots not only to extend the human abilities, but to create a more natural, intuitive, and productive environment. Our approach to advance towards that field is by utilizing AI-enhanced interaction, including virtual reality-based teleoperation, teaching by demonstration, multimodal means of interaction, dexterous mechatronics and sensors, such as perception of workplace, utilization of digital twins, human action detection, or intention prediction. And these will allow an efficient task planning and orchestration. So, by combining all the information technologies, we are able to facilitate user-centric social interaction by keeping the operator in the loop. We put always human at the center while assessing his or her acceptance on the technologies. This slide summarizes the modules that will be developed, and the tools that can be used on the external pilots of the open calls. So this was JARVIS project in a nutshell. You can follow our social media accounts. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Christos. So let me take over and give you now the snapshot about this funding opportunity of Open Call 1. First of all, let me tell you that this Open Call 1 is a part of the concept of 2 open calls that JARVIS will have funding for. So we have in this year the Open Call 1 for external pilots is the one that we are introducing today, and it is currently open. And this is the call for external pilots. And next year in 2026, there will be another call, and we will be again seeking for external pilots, meaning they will be testing advanced technologies and modules and tools developed by JARVIS. But in addition, we will be also seeking for co-developers that will be, collaborating with us in developing, above JARVIS technology, some extras that will be identified as interesting. So stay tuned. Some of you will ask that question regarding eligibility. So individuals are planned to be eligible for the co-developers call next year. But let's focus now on this call, which is the Open Call 1. And just to let you know that in total, for both of open calls, there is a pool of money, nearly €2.5 million to distribute. Regarding this open call for external pilots, the goal is clear. So we expect to invest in the new pilots to extend beyond the JARVIS pilots that Christos has just briefly presented. We want to learn the feedback from these new use cases. We want you to validate the tools that have developed so far in JARVIS. And we hope that you will be able to show, and demonstrate the replicability and sustainability of the JARVIS tools in this human-robotic interaction. And whatever feedback you're going to give us, we'll be able to advance or improve or develop based on your lesson learned. So who are actually targeted in this Open Call 1? We are mostly interested in the tech adopters, so basically the end users, as this is a call for external pilots, but the tech adopters should collaborate and be in fusion with the tech integrators, provider or developers that will be assisting or supporting them in this whole the development and deployment of the use case. And who these organizations can be, so this can be startups, SME. Here is a requirement by the European Commission that you need to be registered at least 1 year when applying. There are also European industry players among the eligible one, and including any end users from public and private sectors. There are 3 main objectives that we are mostly interested regarding this Open Call 1. So we want to stimulate the engagement of SMEs in testing and validating the solutions that we have been developing in JARVIS. We want to, of course, extend the adoption of the solution and the developed tools that Christos has just mentioned, but the whole description you have in the documents by the industry players, small media enterprises, representing very different use cases or sectors beyond JARVIS. Of course, when the human-robot interaction is a necessity in terms of technology. And the last but not least, we are aiming, that thanks to your engagement, there will be basically support of the development of JARVIS solution, and your use cases will also contribute in general on advancement on the human robotics interaction solution through your feedback and engagement you're going to have with your key stakeholders. So in a summary, in a nutshell, basically there are those 3 expectations that we have from the external use cases. So we want you to validate and expand JARVIS technology. We want you to attract and engage key stakeholders and end users. And based on this collaboration and this funding distribution and our collaboration with those that will be selected, we believe that there will be an interesting outcome in terms of creating value and impact for you as a third parties, but also for us as a JARVIS consortium. And now I guess we can move forward with unfolding for you our challenges. So that you can actually apply, but more about this you will hear from Zoe.
Hi Eva, thank you for the introduction. I will introduce myself as well. I'm a senior researcher at LMS working together with Christos. I'm a research engineer at LMS. And I have the pleasure to present more details about our challenges. You probably have seen that we have a set of predefined challenges, and there's also the chance to apply for your novel ideas. We will present firstly the agile manufacturing, which is the first pillar, and then with the support of Axel from Sintef, we will see more details about inspection and maintenance. So for the first pillar, the agile manufacturing.
Zoe, sorry,
Yeah?
you are not sharing the presentation. We cannot see it at least yet. So
Really? Oh, because
yeah,
it
try
says.
to share.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks for that.
No worries. Now it's coming.
Can you see now?
Yeah, now we see it. Overview of challenges. Yeah,
Thank you.
perfect. You can go ahead.
So yeah, these are the two pillars and the open topic and domain. So about the agile manufacturing challenge, here what we aim to do is to focus on the shop floor. So we want to have human robot collaboration for changing conditions. We want to enhance what the system can do in unstructured and dynamic conditions of the shop floor, which are really needed, especially in high mix, low volume production, which is now what we see on the shop floors. We want to reduce the high complexity and costs that are typically needed for programming and integrating robotic solutions. And then if we have an excellent robotic system that cannot be used by humans, then it's not useful at all. So for sure, we want to enhance this aspect. We want our systems to be useful. So the solutions that we aim to see in the open call, we hope that will fit in the three topics that we will see in a while. But we want to support these gaps that we frequently hear about. We want them to bridge the gap between manual operations and full automation with human-robot collaboration. We want them to improve the performance and to reduce, of course, operator strain and improve well-being, while at the same time remain useful and trustful. So for the first challenge, it's called Human Augmentation and Assistance for Safe and Adaptive Manufacturing. Here, this challenge addresses a fundamental barrier to effective human-robot collaboration, which is the burden placed on human operator. And I guess you can already assume what it is about from the title. In any case, in many manufacturing environments, workers face high physical and cognitive workload. This comes from repetitive assembly to decision-making under time pressure. So what we need here is that we want to reduce the fatigue, errors, injury, and well-reported burnouts in the personnel that we have in Europe. At the same time, the efforts with rigid automation typically are not well adapted to changes. So instead of supporting the humans, they often require the operator to adjust the robot, adding stress and reducing efficiency. Finally, many systems lack intuitive interfaces, so they are hard to use. They result in frustration, low trust, and poor adoption. And this is something that we don't want to see keep going. So with this challenge, we aim to see implementation of solutions that enhance operators' user experience on the shop floor and performance by not replacing the human, but by assisting the human through technologies like wearables, XR, or adaptive interfaces. And of course, the target should be demonstration and implementation at assembly lines, quality control stations, and in general, any production settings where the human must stay in the loop. Regarding technologies, we're looking for solutions that are both technically viable and cost-effective. A core principle here is keeping the human in the loop, preserving knowledge and skills, as well as judgment of operators, while supporting through automation. We strongly encourage the use of open source tools and technologies. And then you see on the screen some of the 4 categories that we think are relevant. So intelligent wearables such as AR, overlays or voice-based assistants can help workers manage cognitively demanding tasks, but also stay in sync with collaborative robots. We have decision support here, adaptive workstations, human-robot interaction, like co-manipulation or teleoperation interfaces. And we come here next to what Eva said, that we expect some collaboration between the applicants and JARVIS. So what does this mean? From the JARVIS side, we have some tools. You can see here the list. They are provided either in Docker images or Windows executables. So when you're writing your proposal, you should think which of these solutions can enhance the overall added value of your proposal. So from our side, we will provide a working application or interface that you will need to integrate in your system and add value to your human-robot collaborative application, your demonstrator. For the second challenge, we focus on logistics. So it's the agile collaborative robotics for logistics and warehousing. Here we have tasks like material handling, kitting, or pallet transport, which are largely done manually today. Operators often deal with heavy loads, repetitive movements, and fast-paced workflows, which again can lead to fatigue, injuries, and inefficiencies. In this scenario, full automation can work, but not when we have changes or we have a dynamic and unpredictable condition or shop floor. So the rigid systems simply can't keep up with layout changes or shifting demands. Again, when mobile robots are deployed, we observe typically poor interaction design, which makes adoption hard. And with this challenge, we're seeking solutions that combine AI-enabled robotics and human collaboration to boost agility, safety, and throughput in real-world logistics. Implementation is expected in scenarios like material feeding, kitting, high-mix warehouses, where human-robot cooperation truly matters. Here, in our second predefined challenge, we identified 2 main areas of interest. First, it's material handling and transportation. And second, it's adaptive picking, packing, and sorting. So the first one includes AI-assisted robots or mobile platforms that work alongside human operators to move goods efficiently. Here we can have semi-autonomous navigation, real-time inventory management, shared load scenarios, like robot-assisted pallet handling or co-manipulation of oversized parts. And in the second case, we can have tasks which are usually seen in high mix low volume production, where we have variability, unpredictability, and thus we need AI-based perception and grasping systems that can identify and handle a wide variety of objects. This includes machine learning, predictive analytics, for instance. In any case, the key here is agility. These solutions must respond to changing conditions and workflows without requiring full automation. We always want human-robot collaboration. The human remains in the loop, but at the same time, we make their work safer, faster, and smarter with collaborative robotics. The same list of tools is here. In each challenge, we have pre-selected some of the tools that seem to us most relevant, but of course it's up to you to select which one fits and complements your solutions. So moving on to the third and final challenge of agile manufacturing, here we focus on an emerging topic, which is remanufacturing. So this challenge targets processes which are still largely manual and often expose workers to hazardous conditions, especially in tasks like disassembly, surface treatment, and other processes that we see there. A major barrier here is component variability, which is even higher than in the previous cases. We can even say that no two parts are exactly the same, making traditional automation unreliable and hard to scale. We see limited use of intelligent planning tools, leading to inconsistent quality and underused robotics. So we believe that here generative AI can unlock new potential, and human-robot collaboration and teleoperation can make a difference. We expect implementations in real remanufacturing environments, from disassembly and reprocessing operations, whichever it's of interest to you, especially in sectors like automotive, white goods, or industrial equipment. For the technologies, we propose two cases again. We have human-robot disassembly and sorting. Here we are looking for the integration of collaborative robots and intelligent grasping systems that can handle diverse parts from end-of-life products. And then second, we have assisted cleaning, surface treatment, reprocessing and repair, which are often hazardous or ergonomically challenging tasks. Solutions may involve co-manipulation or teleoperation. And again, we encourage cost-effective, technically viable solutions, and we encourage open source. Some words about the outcome. All these challenges should provide at the end a system prototype demonstration in operational environment with performance evaluation, and we have defined some KPIs for that. Part of the KPIs is obligatory, so it's the same for everyone. This is the successful demonstration at TRL 7. We need to see at least one tool and maximum two included in your solutions with the target to add value at the overall result. And then, of course, operator acceptance matter to us. So once solution is ready, we expect to have some results where you report how the users of your solution reacted, like the workers, engineers, the acceptance from them. Then, depending on the case, there are the optional KPIs. You need to select 2 out of the 4 that bestly fit your case. And with this, I would like to pass the floor to Axel. for the inspection and maintenance pillar.
Yes, thank you, Soy. So my name is Axel Transet. I'm a senior scientist at SINTEF. And in the next slide, we start off with the expected outcome and relevant JARVIS technologies for AI-enhanced inspection and maintenance. So we're now over to the challenges regarding inspection and maintenance. The expected outcome is to provide a system prototype demonstration in operational environment with performance evaluation. And the relevant JARVIS technologies are, as also Soy indicated, all of these. In particular, there can be related to perception, object recognition, classification, post estimation, task identification, planning, both path planning and task planning, but all of these technologies can be relevant. So that concludes the technologies and the outcome slide. Now I will go through the three main challenges, and we'll start off with inspection and maintenance of plants and infrastructure area, as well as linear infrastructure. For plants, so what does that mean? For plants and infrastructure areas, we mean areas which basically cover a lot of infrastructure within some specific category. It can be an electrical substation, for example, with transformers and various kinds of high voltage equipment. It can be a harbor with actual harbor structure towards the water, lots of buildings. There can be containers there, etc. And also many others of these type of infrastructure areas: oil and gas platforms, subsea installations, airports, municipal areas, etc. These areas are quite require some different robotics and AI systems compared to linear infrastructure. So linear infrastructure is basically very long infrastructure, rail lines, power lines, roads, underwater cables, underwater pipelines, drinking water pipelines, very long, and you would need other robot systems to enter them. So that's the infrastructure for challenge 4. Then over to the main operations. The main operations are inspection, monitoring, maintenance, and repair. And basically all types of robots are relevant here: aerial, ground-based, surface-based, underwater, even resident vehicles, so drone in a box, underwater drone in a box, and so on. AI-based systems include human-robot interaction. So human-robot interaction, a natural interaction, efficient interaction is a key component in JARVIS, as the previous speakers have pointed out. So it's important to have some kind of aspect of that in the project. And then, but also AI-based systems for vehicle and mission autonomy, basically how to get your robotic vehicle around safely and autonomously, as well as the mission data analysis. And to kind of linger a bit on the mission data analysis, so for the sensors, that analysis can be based on sensors from EO cameras, infrared cameras, sound cameras, vibration sensors, etc. And you can use that sensor data to look for damages, corrosions, pittings, cracks, gas leakages. Well, there's a large variety here. We also encourage if someone wants to submit a proposal which include intervention operations, meaning not just only inspection, basically. So these types of operations can typically be cleaning with water, with a brush, with sand, so sandblasting, plastering, deburring, welding. But it can also be like pick up objects, move them to another location, insert an object into something else, open a cabinet, press a button, etc. So there are lots of different operations here. So that concludes challenge 4. In challenge 5, we go down to the individual assets. These assets can be in areas with other assets, of course, but it's so in some cases maybe you can be a bit uncertain about whether to go for challenge 4 and 5. In that case, you can contact us and get some feedback. But as a general rule, if you're looking at one specific type of asset with your robotics and AI solution, then challenge 5 is your challenge, basically. But if you're thinking about having a robot and AI system that will basically roam around between different assets, then challenge 4 is more suitable. So what challenge 5, as I said, focuses on the specific assets, pressure vessels, for example, tanks, big tanks, pressure tanks, ship hulls, hydrogen production turbines, wind turbines, bridges, flare stacks, which is basically a very tall tower with a big flame on top, and a lot of different assets. Rolling assets such as trains is also included here. As with so the rest of the presentation of this challenge is very similar to the previous one, as many of the operations will be similar, although like the vehicles may typically be specialized towards each asset. So that, for example, a magnetic crawler can be designed to operate within a pressure vessel, for example. The AI-based systems are the same, but maybe in challenge 4 for plants and areas, you need to have like a fleet management. It can be beneficial to have a fleet management component, but for challenge 5 specific assets, it's more about controlling individual robots. The sensors can in many cases be the same, and also what damages to look for. Maintenance operations also, but again, solutions are typically more asset specific. So that concludes challenge 5, and then for challenge 6, which is a bit different from the others. So in challenge 6, we typically latch a bit back to the manufacturing challenges, in terms of that challenge 6 is a combination of inspection and maintenance and manufacturing, basically. Inline quality assessment. And so why do we need this? The manufacturing industry, well, for years there has been a shift towards high mix, low volume production, and the variety of product configurations makes basically keeping consistency challenging, and you need to have good quality assessment of in these production processes, but these can be very cognitively demanding for operators and prone to human error. So and if we look specifically at circular value chains, this becomes an even bigger challenge, in terms of that human operators needs to quickly assess the state of used components, which can have some wear and tear, but then the question is whether this is sufficient or not to be reused. So this challenge here includes both remanufacturing, recycling, but also production of new goods. So if we look more closely at the slide now, this is about assisted inspections within, for example, white goods, automotive, electronics, and other sectors, and then some of the within the assisted inline quality control category, and some of the things to check for could be to detect misassembled or missing components, human robot cooperation, HRC, to support product validation, and to basically, and this is a general thing for the whole challenge, to reduce the cognitive load of operators and improve consistency. For the second category in this challenge, the state assessment of consumer goods for remanufacturing and recycling, the systems in meeting this challenge can be AI-assisted inspection systems, and also AI-powered damage detection and the material classification systems. The technologies involved is sensor fusion. Those sensors can typically be vision, infrared, ultrasound, but also other types of sensors, such as NDT, non-destructive testing sensors, and machine learning and predictive analytics for quality assurance based on these sensor measurements. So these analytics typically analyze, for example, the remaining useful lifetime of components, and basically whether or not they are fit for remanufacturing. Generative AI can play a role here with, for example, synthetic data generation and defect classification. And as always with Jarvis, the aspect of collaborative robots, possibly through some kind of natural language interaction or other types of natural interaction can be good. So that concludes the inspection and maintenance part. Thank you.
Thank you, Axel. So now I guess, and I hope that you have a better idea of the topics, how we envision them, and you should know that these topics were designed based on what we hear in different topics groups. We also had a work group, a workshop where different companies exposed their challenges, different end users. So in any case, if we didn't make it to cover your area of research and activities, there is again this open topic and novel domain choice. So in the previous topics, we saw some examples that could fit the different topics. It's not obligatory to do everything, just something that fits what was presented. Here, the case is more free. We have human-robot collaboration in industrial settings or inspection and maintenance environments, but it can be beyond the predefined topics. So here we can have different technologies. So if you didn't see the technologies that you're working on, please don't hesitate. Move on to applications. Just make sure that what you do demonstrates how human-robot collaboration adds value to the tasks and improves the quality of outcome for complex industry processing tasks or for inspection and maintenance. And then for the cases, okay, we focused on manufacturing and the inspection and maintenance environment. But if we didn't have some explicitly mentioned case in the previous slides, please feel free to contact us in case you have question if your case is relevant. And we encourage also cross-domain solutions that can show applicability and reusability to manufacturing. So proposals must demonstrate clear alignment with Jarvis vision, which is advancing human-robot collaboration in a user-centric manner. So we don't want to replace human, but rather enhance their capabilities. And with that, we conclude the topics and we go back to Eva.
I was muted. Okay, thank you so much, Zoe and Axel. I personally found it very good, all the explanations, very clear, unfolding our design challenges and also encouragement for any novel solutions, ideas. There is some noise now, but I hope it's gonna stop in a second. So let me now guide you how you can actually apply. I hope by now you consider at least some of the challenges as suitable for you, or you have already in mind your own challenges that you would like to propose to us. So let me take you through the journey where you can start. So what you really must know about this call, it's some kind of basic characteristic, when you can apply, how many projects you're gonna fund, how much budget is available for you, and once you are selected, how long actually you should really collaborate with us, with your pilot in JARVIS. So we are unfolding this. So the open call was launched already on the 5th of March. It will be open exactly for 2 months. So you can submit your application until the 5th of May. And here, very important to highlight, you need to submit your application before 5 o'clock Central European time. So it doesn't work for the end of the day, not until midnight. We are doing this to be able to support any question you may have or any technical situations issue within the working hours. So we wouldn't be able to do it around midnight. So please pay attention to this. It's very important because this we will not be considering any complaints that you didn't know. This is a very strict deadline. We will fund 8 projects or 8 pilots, external pilots. The maximum funding is up to 130,000 euro per project. You will learn in a second that you need to build a consortium. So it's not for one entity, the budget is at least for 2 entities, maximum 3. To distribute, and how long you will be working within JARVIS with your external use case for 10 months. Moving forward with the steps. So the step 1, absolutely basic and required. It's not a recommendation, it's a mandatory step. And you really need to read carefully guidelines for applicants. It's a document that is that unfolds everything, puts all the clarity regarding main questions about this funding opportunity. So we not encourage, you really need to read it in case you're going to be applying to the call. You can find it, either you scan this QR code, but also check our website. If you're going to go to the bookmark Open Call 1, there you're going to find this document and also other that you're going to see in a second. So that's exactly step number 2. The number of documents and templates that you need to get familiar with. Some of the documents we will be requiring from you at the submission stage. So let me take you quickly through. So we have Annex 1. So this is the guidelines for applicants that I have just shared with you before. We have already an updated version of some minor updates. So we have a version 1.1 of this Annex 1. Then we have Annex 1, so it's Annex 1 version 1.1. Then we have Annex 1.1. And this is the description, technical description of all what you could hear today from Christos, Zoe, Axel. So there's a technical knowledge about JARVIS technology, available tools, modules, anything that you really need to be familiar with in order to really build your proposal. Then we have Annex number 2. Annex number 2 is a proposal template, is a document, it's a Word document that you need to work on. It's a maximum of 11 pages document that you need to build. You're gonna, basically, it's an offline document that you're gonna be working on, and this is your proposal that you're gonna submit. We have also Annex 2.1. It's, you don't need to submit it. It is, for your information, a PDF form of the application form that you're gonna see online at the F6S platform. So certain boxes with the administrative data that you will need to fill out. Then further we have Annex 3. Annex 3 is the consortium declaration of honor of your consortium that you're gonna build. You need to fill in the names of the entities and sign. We have annex number 4, so it's SME declaration. If you're gonna have a confirmed PIC number, you can skip that, but I'm gonna have a slide about this in a second, so I will unfold that information for you. And finally, we have annex number 5. It is a declaration of financial stability that we are also expecting at the submission stage. In case you are selected, there is also annex number 6, which is a draft of the subgrant agreement. This is available on our website. Keep in mind, this is subject to changes. You will need to be bothered the moment you are actually selected, as you will need to sign that subgrant agreement. And again, well, all those documents will need to be submitted apart from Annex 4, in case you're going to have that PIC number. All this information is extracted from the guidelines for applicants, so there is clarity on description of each of the documents. So moving forward, step number 3, you really need to understand if you are eligible. So there is the whole chapter 3 that talks about this. Where we'll unfold some elements about this, but a reminder, you should really assess if you have any conflict of interest with the JARVIS consortium. Christos had one slide there about who are actually, which entities build our JARVIS consortium. You can also see it on our website. And then you need to understand if there is any conflict of interest that apply in your case. If not, of course, we are welcoming you when you are. You should really apply. So what are those eligibility criteria? Well, first of all, the criteria is, as I already mentioned, but well, it's good to repeat this. We are funding consortia. So we are not funding a single entity, we are funding at least 2 entities. And as I mentioned before, we are interested in technology adopters that will team up with technology integrators, providers, or developers that will be the core part of making that deployment and the development. So that's absolutely the key rule. And then there are some additional legal rules that each of the entity that will be composing this consortium should comply with. So the entities should be, of course, legally established in the eligible countries. So these are the EU member states countries and the Horizon Europe associated countries. In the guidelines for applicants, there is a link to the list. What are those Horizon Europe associated countries? So you can check that with the details. Then you need to be able to prove your financial stability and capacity. That is the annex number 5 for this. You're going to be submitting this. Then if you are an SME or startup, already was previously in my slides, but we need to repeat that. You will be eligible only if you are registered at least 1 year before the submission of the application. This is a requirement that we have from the European Commission in our grant agreement. Then some basics, but important to highlight, entities should not have been convicted for fraudulent behaviors or any other financial irregularities or unethical or illegal business practices. And finally, all those entities, enterprises should not be under liquidation or under difficulty according to the Commission regulation that you can study and take a look in case you have any doubts. We have additional rules that apply for eligibility criteria. So the submission are eligible only done through the F6S platform within the defined deadline. There is no other source or a place where you should submit your application, not via email, only that specific link and F6S platform that's available on our website. So you can easily find this. All the applications, also all the required templates or documents, you need to submit in English. That will be also the language in case you are selected of the program. So we will be all working in English. I mean, of course, you can, with your end user, work in your mother language, but any report that you will need to submit to JARVIS, everything will be in English. Again, minimum 2, maximum 3 entities. So 2 are maximum, the third one is optional. If you see the value or necessity, you can bring this on board. The proposal by any means should not exceed the maximum budget. This is very important. Believe me, in my experience, very often it's an example. In this case, we have maximum 130,000 euro. And if you're gonna apply and your budget will be 131,000, automatically you're gonna be rejected. So please don't make that mistake. This is a very painful error. And we really highlight this. This is an eligibility rule, and afterwards we don't do exception. So pay attention to this. And of course, the application needs to be fully complete, so no information missing in the template for proposal that is required, or any data and that is also required on the F6S platform. Please check and read carefully all the details about the eligibility criteria in chapter number 3 in guidelines for applicants in Annex 1. Step number 4, so understand what is your role. So as an entity, are you technology adopter and you seek for technology integrator, all the way around? So understand and then identify if you are missing some partner, or you may have already in mind someone that you can team up with. So again, as a leading institution of this consortium, we would like to see an SME as a startup. And we imagine they would serve mostly as a technology integrator, or provider, or developer. In case of mandatory technology adopter, well, there can be end users from industry sectors, especially if you would consider, applying to one of those challenges presented by Zoe or AXA. They are very specific. But depends on the challenge, or if you're gonna come with your own idea and own domain, you may bring any other relevant public sector end user that will be suitable, and through the assessment of external evaluator, they will see a value and the logic and alignment with what we want to achieve here in JARVIS project. In case you are eligible entity to apply, but you are actually missing that partner, please let us know. On the website there is a survey that you can fill in. It's a very quick survey that you identify if you are, if you are really who you are, and in terms of the role and which partner you look for. So we are collecting this, and then we will, based on this, we are planning and considering organizing an online matchmaking event when the entities seeking for a missing partner would really pitch their needs, their expectation, their capacity, what they can bring. And so we are more than happy to organize this type of event for support if there will be proactivity and the needs for this. So let us know, and please also check that link on the website. Moving forward, step number 5. So if you know already that you are eligible, the next step is to exactly identify to which challenge you are planning to apply. Again, if nothing in our pillar 1 or pillar 2 is of your expertise or interest, then think about opportunity from the novel ideas. We call it in the application form on F6S platform. That's challenge number 7. That is the one that you're gonna define. So read carefully JARVIS technology and build up your proposal accordingly. And just an additional information, so Axel and Zoe perfectly unfolded each challenge, but again, in the document in Annex 1.1, each of the challenge is also clearly described. And if you have any doubts or extra question, just let us know, write to us, and we'll be happy to answer. Well, this is just a reminder, so nothing really to go into details. This was covered by the previous presentation, but a reminder in case someone really just connected, you have these 2 pillars of challenges that were defined and designed specifically with alignment of JARVIS interests, also our capacity, and as Zoe highlighted, these were actually designed with the contribution and through feedback that we received from very different end users coming from European industries that we have we did around November last year. And here again, bring your own domain in case you want nothing really from pillar 1 or 2 really fits you. So once you know you're eligible, you have identified your role, maybe you already team up, you can already go and log into the F6S platform and start actually working on your proposal and on the application form. So just go to the F6S, you have the link here, you have the QR code, this is also on our JARVIS website, and start filling online application form. That is exactly the administrative data that we simply need to collect from each of the applying entity. And this is how it looks like. So if you're gonna go log in, this is just, the first screenshot of the first pages. It's a longer application form, but this is what you can really expect. Keep in mind, in case you are already familiar with F6S platform, you did have applied for another open course, you have already an account, you will see here to which email your application will be submitted. So at this email that is going to be visible here, you should, if you successfully submit your application on time, you should always receive confirmation. Sometimes this is spam, but so please check that in case you really want, this email is irrelevant anymore, you don't have access, you need to please remember to change it or check it or update this. In case this is absolutely first time that you hear about F6S platform, you've never been there, you haven't participated in any other open calls or any other opportunities, so there is a very simple registration. You can register through your Gmail or any other email, and there are also some other ways that you can discover, and the F6S website will guide you. Also, it's free, of course, this platform. So just choose whatever suits you the best to register there. So once you are already at the F6S platform, you can start, of course, there with your online application, and meanwhile you can download Annex 2 from the JARVIS website, and you can offline start working on your proposal. Yeah, this is a Word document, as I mentioned. You need to build 11 pages document. You have here the 15, but there is a lot of guidance that you should delete. Everything is explained in this document. In case you're going to have any doubts, please let us know. Important information, please note that this template is built specifically to the evaluation criteria. Yeah, so each of the section is really related to what external evaluators, external independent evaluators outside of JARVIS will be assessing. So there is a logic. Please don't change anything, don't use any other template. This is the only valid template for the proposal that we will be expecting from you. Yes, also important information, this template, apart from the evaluation criteria, is built also with some logic regarding the 3 sprints. So this 10 months program, in case you are selected that you're going to be collaborating with JARVIS Consortium, is divided into 3 phases, 3 sprints that we call it, and each of the sprint has a own timeline and own requirements. Details about this and expectation from each of this sprint we have included for you in the Annex guideline for applicants. So please take a look there. But in a nutshell, sprint 1, it's all about the requirements and planning, so about the setup of your use case, the external pilot, very detailed with clarity when's going to be happening. So I would say this is an update and advancement of your proposal. You will then understand, you will have already the meeting with the JARVIS mentor, you will understand what's possible, what you can, advance, and where, potentially any updates are required. So you will have 2 months for that clear setup of your external pilot, and plan for the sprint 2 and sprint 3. And then in sprint 2, we will be, checking, and you will be basically implementing what you have planned in sprint 1. So we will be working on the development and deployment, and that's going to be the core part of your work. So 6 months, and in the final sprint, 2 months work, we will be validating and assessing your use case and providing that feedback from your end users. And we will be also very curious about all the impact that your external use case is going to bring to Jarvis. And step number 8, it's a recommendation, it's not mandatory, but in case you don't have yet a PIC number is a 9-digit participant identification code, certain code that European Commission uses for their own administrative purpose. It facilitates checking, legal status of the entities, and definitely facilitates your submission process. So we highly encourage you to do it. You can register your organization. Please validate your PIC number. In that case, you will be able to skip Annex 4 at the application phase. So this is clear. You have a QR code where you can register your organization. And today, of course, the time is limited. So I'm almost ending my presentation. We are excellent on time as planned. So what's going to happen when you applied? Well, we're going to follow this timeline that you can also see on our website. So the deadline for application is the 5th May, 5 o'clock Central European time. Right after, we're gonna start with the evaluation. Evaluation will have 2 stages. We will have the first external remote evaluation with external individual experts that will be hired for that purpose, and there will be special call of interest for that evaluators. So they will do the first job, the first assessment, and then there will be second part of the interviews, that the interviews of the shortlist with the shortlisted applicants will be done by the JARVIS experts. And then afterwards, we will start with the selection and contracting process. So we'll be informing you. You will be, preparing all the documents also for that signature, and we will be kicking off with the sprint 1 in September, and we will follow the 10-month plan that I have just briefly mentioned to you before. Keep in mind that these days are subject to change. We will see. We hope that's our ideal scenario, but depends on when you're going to be submitting documentation, if the call will close, etc., etc. So that timeline can be a subject of change. But hopefully not. Hopefully we will be meeting all of you, in case some of you will be selected, which I wish you already in September this year. And by this timeline, I will conclude my part of presentation. And we're gonna move to the Q&A session. So it's exactly 10 past 12, so we have 20 minutes for any Q&A. I see we were all answering the questions in the chat already, but I see now some 6 questions. Let me see. So let me start from the top. Hello. A subsidiary of a group is considered as SME or as a group? We will need to check it. In our guidelines for applicants, you have a section specifically about the self-assessment of an SME. So I would suggest go there. There is a link. There is regularly certain updates from the European Commission about the definition of the SME according to the EU. So please keep in mind that we always need to refer to the EU definition of SME. So there can be many different definitions of SME in the world. But since this opportunity is funded by the European Commission, we need to stick to their definition. And they have their own definition, what it means to be identified as an SME. And there is a clear link in the guidelines for applicants where you can do such self-assessment. So please go ahead and check. And in case afterwards you still have doubts, you can contact us by email, and in case something is unclear, we will also be able to verify with our European Commission officer that is assigned to JARVIS to, bring us the clarity on the cases that we are unsure. So the next question, I will give her that it was answered live. The next question, is it important which entity is SME? is it possible to apply with a SME as end user testbed and one technology provider? I would say we were, there was this recommendation or expectation, given that the end user can be many different things than just an SME. It is important is that the external evaluators reading your proposal will believe in the fusion, in the roles, and in the capacity that you will be able to handle either select challenge or whatever the novel challenge in a novel domain that you're going to be suggesting. So in the guidelines, it is a recommendation that we expect it is literally written in the guidelines for applicants that SME or startup will be a leader and they can be a technology developer, provider, integrator, but it's not written there mandatory. What is mandatory is written that there needs to be mandatory technology adopter. So if the fusion that you are planning to bring of the two entities gonna show and prove that you have this consortium will be able to handle this, I think it should be well proceed by the external evaluators. Next, unless Christos and Zoe, you would like to add something specific that I may be missing from the technical perspective of challenges, you want to add something? I'll take silence as no. But in case you want to add something, go ahead. Also, you can type. Next question. Is an individual with business with own tax number website considered as a legal entity? Again, it's you need to, if individuals for this particular call are not eligible, individuals will be eligible for the co-developers call next year. I see my colleague is want to answer it live. Oh no, probably you're pressing that I am answering live. Okay, it's okay, Alba, I understood now. If you have doubts, the same what I mentioned before, please go to our guidelines for applicants and do the self-check assessment as an SME. In case you will still have certain doubts, let us know, and then we will send your particular question, whether you are eligible or not, to our EC project officer, because we have a clarity, startups, SME are eligible. There is nothing, no other options are listed in our grant agreement from the European Commission, so it's really hard to consider any additional options that maybe we are not aware of. So just do that self-check and contact us in case you will not get the clarity. Is it possible to apply for more than one challenge?
¿Cuántas classes dedicar en clientes?
Well, from the logical perspective and from the economic perspective, you need to simply assess that in theory we are asking to apply for one challenge. There is 10 months, it's not a long period. So we want a sound use case, but nothing is written in the guidance for applicants that this is forbidden. But I would like to ask Zoe and Christos and Axel, do they really see sense and even possibility that someone could tackle two challenges within that fixed timeline and with that budget? Unless maybe there is some logic that there is some compatibility that we didn't think about. No, if you mean two different proposal application, no, because now I see the applicant clarified. So if that's what you meant, that you want to apply with two proposals, no. One proposal, one entity can be applying only in one proposal. Okay, I see there is another question. Inspection and maintenance of plants. Can the plant be solar plant? Probably yes, but still we would like to check. Is a question to Axel or Christos? I see muted.
Yeah. So if you're referring to solar energy, renewable energy plants, yes, of course. Inspection and maintenance missions there are quite useful. Axel, do you want to add something? You are the expert.
No, that's perfect answer.
All right, let me click all whatever was answered live. Some also, okay, yes, thanks photovoltaic plants. Okay, so open. Let me see. Hello, this was live. Okay, are you requesting another question? Are you requesting a certain percentage of co-funding from the applicants for the project? No, we have. This is a 100% funding project. So you will be 100% funded only in lump sum. Yeah. If you are not familiar with lump sum, we will be bringing this in the next webinar or read about this in our annex. But you will be paid against your achievement deliverables in 3 installments. Yeah, but it's 100% paid. We are not expecting you to co-found. We are expecting you to bring your expertise and bring an excellent external pilot. All right. What funding rate will SMEs get on personal costs? Please check table 6 in Annex 2, I believe. So it's a proposal. Table 6 clarifies everything there. This was answered, so I will also put this was answered. So I believe all the questions were answered. In case I missed any question, let us know and repost the question. I just muted myself now because there is this announcement, but I will ask again if there is any question that was not answered, please repost again in the Q&A chat. Okay, I don't see any, because in that case we would be ready to close that webinar if you don't have more questions to us. Well, we still have time, but in case there are no questions, you can of course always contact us by email. Also reminder, once you're gonna go to the F6S, already start your application. There is a forum on F6S that you can publish your question openly. Everyone will see it. We will be able to answer. Of course, you can also contact us there, me and Alba, privately by the message. But we encourage you to use the forum, since when we answer, then everyone can see it. And sometimes, there are common questions. Well, if there are no more questions, I suggest we will just do the final remarks. I will probably mute myself now and maybe ask Christos if you want to add anything or comment, and then we'll be ready to close.
Okay, thank you, Eva. So nothing to add from my side. I would like to thank you all for joining today. We're glad to share some information about our first open call, and that we had the chance to address some of your questions. As a reminder, this video will be kept online, and we remain at your disposal for further clarification via our mail accounts. A special thanks to F6S for putting together this workshop, and of course to our presenters, Eva, Axel, and Zoe. So we are looking forward for your proposals on how to address the presented challenges, and of course for some of you to work together. Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Christos. Yes, only one final announcement. Keep in mind we will have a second webinar. Again, reminder, if you need matchmaking support, go and fill out the survey. And this webinar will be publicly available, and we will be, so stay tuned on our social media. But those of you that register at the F6S event, we will be also emailing you, and you will receive a link to our website with that webinar. So thank you everyone for today. Thank you again to speakers. I will not repeat what Christos said. So good luck to everyone, and we hope to see your application. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Bye. We can stop Alba.